Nintendo finally indulged us with a detailed deep dive into the Switch 2, spilling every bean that could be spilled in an hour-long presentation, confirming the release date, price, a whole raft of new games, and even what that mysterious little C button does. An hour is a long time. You are a busy bee, the busiest of bees, so I tell you what, I'll sum it up for you in roughly, about 10 minutes. That sound good? The Nintendo Switch 2 will release globally on the 5th of June this year. It'll cost you $450 and comes with the console, obviously, 2 Joycon 2 controllers, a Joycon 2 grip, Joycon 2 straps, a Switch 2 dock, an ultra high-speed HDMI cable, a power adapter, and a USB-C charging cable. Or for $499.99 you can get all of that, plus a bundled digital copy of Mario Kart World. We actually expected the console release to be later this year, so this is quite a welcome surprise. The price though? Well, the original Switch launched in 2017 at $299.99, so this price rise might be just a bit too steep for some. The Direct also further clarified tech spec, including the fact that the screen is a 1080p LCD screen with HDR support, supporting frame rates up to 120 frames per second. Some of us were wishfully hoping for an OLED screen, but hey-ho, what can you do? I'm sure they'll release that version about 6 years in the future. And when docked, the console supports 4K resolution, but only up to 60 FPS. Speaking of the dock, even that's had an upgrade and now comes with a fitted fan to help cool the console off when it's playing some of those beefier titles. In terms of storage, the Switch 2 will come with 256GB of internal storage and will only be compatible with microSD express cards for additional storage. The Joycon 2 mouse functionality was also shown off with a few games that will take advantage of the new control scheme, including a new Nintendo title called Drag X Drive, which focuses on wheelchair basketball. Didn't have that one on my bingo card, if I'm honest. Could not have guessed that one was coming. And last but not least, Nintendo even confirmed what that mysterious C button is for. It's for Game Chat, Nintendo's new social feature that lets you easily connect with friends and family to play multiplayer games, allowing you to chat directly, share your screen, which replays your gameplay at about 4 frames per second, and continue to chat even if you're playing different games from your friends. Nintendo promises that even if you're sitting miles away from your docked console, the inbuilt microphone will still be able to comfortably pick you up. Oof, yeah, we'll see about that. Also, if you purchase the Nintendo Switch camera, you can connect it to the console's top USB port to show off your face while you play against your pals. This is sold separately at $49.99, even though it looks like a USB webcam from 2006. But it also turns out there's going to be a Piranha Plant version, so yep, fair play. Okay, Nintendo, I'll pay for that. Thank you. Not the most exciting thing to show off at a console reveal, but not Nintendo. This will be a slick, easy to use feature that will be great for younger audiences and add a bit of personality to online gaming with your friends. Although you do need a Nintendo Online membership for it to work, which is a bit rubbish. But there's a free trial all the way up until March 2026. In terms of first-party games, Nintendo announced a busy slate, the jewel in the crown being Mario Kart World, a brand new take on the karting franchise that introduces an open world element, as well as new ways to interact with the world such as wall jumping and grinding like Tony Hawk. Mario Kart World promises an interconnected environment in which you can drive anywhere when it launches alongside the Switch 2 on June 5th. We'll see more of it in a special direct coming later this month on April 17th. Super Smash Bros. Director Masahiro Sakurai is directing a sequel to Kirby's Air Ride called Kirby's Air Riders, and we're even getting a new Hyrule Warriors game. And while some might be disappointed not to see a new Mario platformer, Donkey Kong has stepped in to fill that gap with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Using his strength to crash, bash, climb and swing, Donkey Kong Bonanza looks like someone put King Kong and Banjo-Kazooie into a gaming blender, and is set to launch just a few weeks after the Switch 2 on July 17th. As well as that though, Nintendo announced a cute little title called Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, in which you play a tiny character who's able to walk inside a Switch 2 and interact with all the elements, helping explain to new players what exactly each component does. Aww. Mario Kart World will certainly tick boxes for a lot of gamers, but it does feel like Nintendo were missing a 3D Mario platformer here, so fingers crossed Donkey Kong can fill that gap. But we thought Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour was going to be a free title, like Astro's Playroom or Aperture Desk Job, but it looks like it's a paid digital title. Can't see many people playing this unless it's the sort of thing that comes free or pre-installed on the console. It also did make me laugh when they signed off this game by saying,
"This is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2.
Well, yeah, I wasn't expecting a PS5 release date. Maybe where the Switch 2 presentation impressed most though was in the sheer amount of third-party games coming to the console on or near launch day. We have Elden Ring, Cyberpunk 2077, Hades 2, Street Fighter 6, Hogwarts Legacy, but like an actual proper version this time, EA Sports FC, Madden, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, Hitman World of Assassination and Yakuza 0. Arguably the most exciting though was Duskbloods, a new multiplayer title and franchise from Software that will launch in 2026 and looks set to pretty much be Bloodborne 2 but with just enough legal distinction to avoid a lawsuit from Sony. We can't be the only folk who shouted, "Oh my god, Bloodborne 2!" at their screens when this came on, but whichever way you swing it, the first new From Software series launching post Elden Ring exclusively for Switch 2 is a huge deal and might just convince some people to purchase a Switch 2. All in all, Nintendo announced 46 third-party games coming to Switch 2, with 17 of those arriving on launch day. But with Switch 2 games costing anywhere between $70 to $80, you better hope your mates buy a few games as well so you can bully them into lending them to you with that new virtual cart system. While most Switch games will play on the Switch 2, Nintendo have announced a raft of games that will be getting special Switch 2 upgrade editions, which can be purchased outright or for a smaller fee if you already own the Switch 1 edition. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have had resolution and frame rate bumps, as well as added HDR and a new app that lets you track your progress across Hyrule. Metroid 4 will launch with a Switch 2 edition upgrade that allows you to choose between a 4K 60 frames per second mode or 1080p 120 frames per second mode, as well as standard controls or newly implemented mouse controls. Ooh. Kirby and the Forgotten Land will see improved graphics and frame rates too, as well as a new story mode expansion. And Mario Party Jamboree launches with the Jamboree TV expansion pack, which uses the Switch 2's new controls and the camera add-on for a selection of new multiplayer minigames. No exact prices have been announced in the US or Europe yet, but the Japanese prices have been released, so we can kind of roughly gauge what they might be over here. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom will probably be about $10, or it's looking like it might be free if you have the Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscription. But Kirby and Super Mario Party Jamboree are looking like they're going to be $20, seeing as they contain new content. It's a shame these upgrades aren't free, but I guess it's slightly better than paying full price for a new next-gen version when you already own the game. I can see myself purchasing that Tears of the Kingdom update though, because it'll be nice to play that water temple with a double-digit frame rate. Switch 2 players can start acting all aloof and better than everyone else because Gamecube classics are coming exclusively to Nintendo's new console for Switch Online members. On launch day, you'll be able to download and enjoy The Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, my god, finally! Soul Calibur 2, F-Zero GX, Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon Colosseum. As well as that, there's a special edition wireless Gamecube controller releasing on the Nintendo Store, and I tell you something, people are really going to want that. And people are me. So there you have it, everything you need to know about the Switch 2 after Nintendo's Deep Dive Direct. Did we miss anything? What are you most excited for? Will you be purchasing this console on day one? Let us know down in the comments. We want to know everything you've got to say. Because I've been Nathan, this is FGS, and if I'm honest, I'm quite sad that they didn't announce 1-2 Switch 2, just because that's a funny name to say, isn't it? 1-2 Switch 2, come on, they missed out there.